Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to pull out the really key stuff from, a whole load of information.
That's the plan.
Today, we're looking at the AI Daily News Digest from May 10th, 2025. The mission, find the big takeaways on things like embodied AI, reinforcement fine-tuning, research integration.
Without getting totally lost in the details, there's always so much happening.
Exactly. Okay, so let's jump in.
Sounds good. Even just one day's news shows how fast things are moving, right?
Yeah.
Across so many different areas.
Totally. Okay, first up, something that really caught my eye, robots. Jim Fan over at NVIDIA.
Ah, yes, the humanoid robot work.
Right, they're talking about training robots to move like humans, but the kicker is the zero-shot transfer.
From simulation straight to the real world. Yeah,
That's always been the dream, hasn't it? Sim to real without tons of real-world tweaking.
it really has. Because that gap between a clean sim and messy reality is, well, significant. So zero shot suggests their simulations are getting incredibly good, or the transfer method is.
And the speed. Did you see the number? 10 years of training in only 2 hours.
That figure definitely jumps out. I mean, that implies some serious compute power and probably very clever algorithms behind it.
Makes you wonder how fast they can iterate now.
Absolutely. Rapid prototyping, testing new skills. It changes the game if it holds up.
And the other part was the efficiency, the robot's policy, its core brain for movement. Only 1.5 million parameters. That sounds tiny.
It is remarkably small, yeah.
Eh,
It suggests they found a really compact way to represent complex skills.
what does that mean practically? Easier to deploy?
Potentially. Smaller models can sometimes run faster, be easier to put onto hardware, maybe even generalize better, though that's not always guaranteed. It could mean they've really distilled the essence of human-like movement.
Okay, so speed, efficiency. Sounds amazing. But we should probably mention this was an initial announcement, right?
Exactly. Lots of excitement. And the speed and parameter count are genuinely impressive points that got the community buzzing.
But no hard benchmarks yet, or specifics on the environments or architecture.
Not in this initial reveal, no. So, the usual caveats apply. The community's excited, definitely sees it as a potential leap for sim to real.
But everyone's waiting for the deep dive, the technical papers.
Precisely. Need to see the validation, how it performs on different tasks, that sort of thing. But the potential is clearly there.
Okay, cool. Let's switch gears a bit.
Yeah.
Away from physical robots, more into the language model space.
All right.
Reinforcement fine-tuning, RFT. OpenAI announced it's available now with O4 Mini. Why is that a big deal?
Well, reinforcement learning is it's a powerful technique for getting these LLMs to behave how you want to get better at specific tasks.
Aligning them, right.
Exactly. Aligning them, improving performance, making RFT easier to access just opens doors for more people to customize these models.
And O4 Mini specifically is using chain-of-thought reasoning and task-specific grading.
Yeah, that's the interesting bit in their implementation. Chain of thought means the model kind of explains its reasoning step by step.
Which helps us understand how it got an answer.
Right. And using task-specific grading during the RFT means it gets really targeted feedback. Like not just good, bad, but why it was good or bad for that specific task.
So it should learn more effectively for those tasks.
That's the idea. More targeted feedback leads to hopefully better, more reliable performance on the things you're fine-tuning it for.
And OpenAI's stated goal is making RL more flexible, more accessible.
Yeah, kind of democratizing it a bit more. If more people can use these advanced tuning methods.
Then we could see more specialized models, more innovation.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Instead of just relying on the giant general-purpose models, developers could tailor smaller, efficient models like a 4 Mini for very specific needs. It pushes towards more practical, deployed AI assistants.
Makes sense. Okay, one more big topic from the digest. This one is about integrating AI deeper into workflows, specifically research and coding.
Ah, the GitHub integration with ChatGPT's deep research feature.
Yeah, tell us about that. You can connect your GitHub repos now.
That's right. Connect a repository, and the AI agent within ChatGPT can then, well, read it.
Read the source code.
The source code, yeah. And pull requests, too, which is interesting, the discussions around code changes.
So it can understand not just the code, but the why behind it sometimes.
Potentially, yes. It searches through it all and then generates a report.
A detailed report with citations, it said.
And that citation part is crucial, I think. It means you can trace the AI's findings back to the actual code or discussion. Builds trust, lets you dig deeper yourself.
Right. You're not just taking its word for it.
Exactly. Verifiability.
And apparently code search is already like a major use case people jumped on.
Doesn't surprise me at all. Think about onboarding to a new project, trying to understand a huge, complex code base,
Or just debugging something tricky.
or finding examples. How do they implement this feature here? Instead of manually digging, you could ask the AI to find relevant sections or explain a module.
That could save developers a ton of time.
A huge amount. Understanding code, especially large or unfamiliar code bases, is a massive time sink. So using AI to quickly get the structure, identify key parts, understand the history through PRs, it could really speed things up.
It really changes how you might approach learning or working with code.
It does.
Huh.
It makes you wonder how tools like this might reshape software development practices down the line.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the big things we pulled out from that May 10th digest.
Right.
We had NVIDIA showing really fast progress on humanoid robots, that sim-to-real training, super efficient policy too.
Then OpenAI making reinforcement fine-tuning more accessible with a 4 Mini, using chain of thought to boost reasoning.
And finally, ChatGPT integrating directly with GitHub, letting AI analyze code bases for deep research.
Yeah, those were definitely the highlights. And they all point towards AI becoming more capable, yes, but also more integrated and practical.
More usable in the real world, both physical and digital.
Exactly. Not just lab experiments, but tools starting to really blend into how we work and what we can build.
So hopefully you feel like you've got the essence of those updates now without needing to sift through everything yourself.
That's the goal of the deep dive.
So reflecting on all this, what's the big picture thought?
For me, it's that focus on practicality. Speeding up robot training, making LLM tuning easier, integrating AI into coding. It's all about bridging the gap between raw capability and actual usefulness.
Well put. Okay, so here's a final thought for you to chew on. We see robots learning years of experience in hours, AI digging through code instantly.
Yeah.
How does that sheer speed of learning and analysis change the fundamental pace of innovation itself? Not just making tasks faster, but changing how quickly new ideas can emerge and be tested across, well, pretty much everywhere.
That's a big question. Definitely something to think about.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.